For this video, I'm headed down to Homosassa Springs, Florida, to check out the Homosassa Springs Wildlife State Park. Today we're heading to Homosassa Springs, Florida to visit the wildlife park. This park has an interesting history. Starting in the late 1800s, trains used to stop here along the line to give their passengers a breather from their trip. Remember, this is back in the days before train coaches were air conditioned, so walking around in the shade, drinking spring water, it would have been a nice change of pace for people on a long journey. This state park actually has multiple options when it comes to where to enter the park. The main entrance is located off Suncoast Parkway, and when you park at this location, you have the option of taking a ferry boat or a tram to the park's original entrance. There is limited parking at the park's original entrance, so if you wanted to skip the ferry boat ride or the tram, it is an option, but you probably need to go early in the morning. One of the things you don't expect to see in a state park is a hippo, and this particular hippo had appeared in a lot of different TV shows and films over the years. His name is Lou, and he's now among the oldest living hippos in the world. He's currently 59 years old and looking to enjoy his golden years. The fishbowl was a really amazing experience. It's an underwater chamber that they sank into the spring in the mid-1950s. It recently was refurbished. Really is one of the amazing experiences that you get at this park. If you're a nature watcher or an aficionado of freshwater fish, you're really going to enjoy this experience. Like so many of the old Florida tourist attractions, this park went on a major building spree in the mid-1970s in an effort to compete with Walt Disney World. And like all those other smaller Florida attractions, it failed to deliver the visitors needed to keep the park viable. So the park shut down in the early 1980s, and in 1984, Citrus County purchased the land. Homosassa Springs definitely was one of the parks with the most complicated process in becoming a state park, because state parks don't generally have animals, and this park had evolved into a zoo by the time it failed in the mid-80s. These waterways that lead to the original entrance of the park date back thousands of years. Many centuries ago, the local Indian tribes used to use this area for hunting and fishing. This state park is home to one of the best photo ops you're going to find. This bird aviary is one of the most recent additions to the park, and it really is a nice setup. They do have an amazing assortment of birds native to Florida. Overall, I would recommend this park. It's one of those unique experiences that you're really not going to see at any other state park in Florida. Admission is on the pricier side. It's about $13 to get in, but you get a lot of value out of that $13. Compared to other zoos in the country, the price is pretty reasonable. It's one of the few places you can actually see manatees in captivity. If you're riding over from the main entrance, I definitely recommend taking the ferry boat instead of the tram. You just see a lot more wildlife when you're on the boat ride. I feel like the tram kind of diminishes the overall experience. As for drawbacks for this park, this is a fair weather only experience. I wouldn't attempt to go to this place if it's raining because there's very little shelter. There is plenty of shade, so if it's a really sunny day, you should be fine. So the bottom line, if you're near Homosassa Springs in the future, I suggest you check this place out. I don't think you'll be disappointed.